the confidence of someone who has already made it. The world bends to those who move with certainty. The first step to winning is believing you already have.
Dear friends, I'm going to ask you to do something that might feel impossible right now. I want you to imagine that every financial struggle you've ever had was based on a complete misunderstanding, a cosmic joke, a magic trick where you've been staring at the magician's left hand while the real secret was happening in plain sight. What if I told you that lack doesn't exist in the universe, that it's never existed, that every moment of poverty you've experienced was like being thirsty while standing in the ocean? Stay with me, because this isn't going to be another lecture about positive thinking or gratitude. This is about revealing the fundamental structure of reality itself. Let me share something with you that changed everything for me. I was studying the nature of reality, truly studying it, not just philosophizing, and I discovered something extraordinary. In the entire universe, there is no such thing as nothing. Even what we call empty space isn't empty. It's teeming with potential energy, with invisible fields that physicists are only beginning to understand. The vacuum of space contains more energy than all the matter in the visible universe combined. Think about that. The emptiness contains everything. So if nature abhors a vacuum, if emptiness itself is actually fullness, what does that tell you about lack? It tells you that lack is a perceptual error, a misreading of reality, a belief imposed on abundance. Let me explain this through a lens you might not expect: mathematics. When you have infinity and you subtract 1,000,000 from it, what do you have left? Infinity. When you subtract 1,000,000,000, infinity. When you subtract everything you can possibly imagine, still infinity. You cannot diminish infinity. It's mathematically impossible. Now here's what most people miss. Consciousness itself is infinite. I'm not speaking poetically. I mean this literally. Your awareness right now has no boundaries. Close your eyes and try to find the edge of your consciousness. You can't. It extends infinitely. And if consciousness is infinite, and all creation exists within consciousness, then the idea of lack is like trying to have half of infinity. It's nonsensical. It cannot exist. Yet you've spent your whole life believing in it. You've been doing impossible mathematics, trying to divide infinity into enough and not enough. Here's what actually happens when you experience lack. You're not experiencing the absence of abundance. You're experiencing your attention focused on absence. Let me give you an example. Right now, as you're listening to my voice, there are thousands of sounds you're not hearing. Your refrigerator humming, traffic outside, your own breathing, the blood rushing through your ears. Are those sounds absent? No, they're present. You're just not attending to them. The moment I direct your attention to them, they appear in your awareness. They were always there. You were just focused elsewhere. Lack works the same way. When you focus on what you don't have, you create the experience of lack. Not because things are actually absent, but because your attention has narrowed to exclude everything else. It's like standing in a room full of treasure, staring at the one empty corner and declaring there's nothing here. The treasure doesn't disappear because you're not looking at it. But in your experience, it might as well not exist. This is the optical illusion. You think you're observing reality, but you're actually creating your experience through selective attention. Let me prove to you right now that you're surrounded by abundance even if you can't see it yet. Take a breath, a deep one. Did you pay for that air? Did you earn the right to breathe? Did you have to prove yourself worthy of oxygen? No. It was freely given, infinitely available. You've probably taken 500 million breaths in your life without once worrying, what if I run out of air? That's abundance. That's how the universe actually operates. Now you might say, but Neville, I can't pay my rent with air. True, but you're missing the principle. The same creative power that provides air without you asking also provides everything else. The same source, the same intelligence, the same infinite abundance. The only difference is your belief about it. You trust that air will be there, so you don't hoard it. You don't wake up anxious about oxygen supply. You just breathe. But with money, you don't trust. You grip, you worry, you hoard, you believe it's scarce. And that belief, not the actual availability of money, creates your experience of lack. So if lack doesn't exist in reality, where does it exist? In assumption, in belief. In the stories you tell yourself. I discovered this through direct experience. Years ago, I was completely broke. I mean truly destitute. And I was convinced that my poverty was caused by external circumstances, the economy, my lack of connections, my bad luck. But then I started to experiment with consciousness. I began to assume I was wealthy even though every physical fact contradicted it. And here's what I noticed. The moment I assumed wealth, I stopped experiencing lack even before a single dollar appeared. The anxiety vanished. The desperation evaporated. The constant mental calculations about what I could or couldn't afford, gone. Why? Because lack isn't about dollars. It's about a state of consciousness. When you're in the state of lack, you could have $1 million and still feel poor. You'd worry about losing it. You'd calculate how long it would last. You'd still experience scarcity. But when you're in the state of abundance, you can have very little money and feel completely wealthy. You'd trust. You'd be at ease. You'd know more is coming. The state is the experience. The money is just a symbol. Now, let me give you something radical, a practice that cuts through all the complexity. For the next 24 hours, I want you to operate under one assumption: I live in an abundant universe and I lack nothing. Not I'm trying to manifest abundance. Not I hope to be wealthy someday. But I lack nothing right now. Here's how you practice this. When a bill arrives, instead of how will I pay this, say the money for this already exists. I'm just letting it find me. When you want something, instead of I can't afford it, say this or something better is already mine in consciousness. When you see someone with wealth, instead of envy, say their abundance is proof that abundance exists. And what exists for one exists for all. Notice what happens. I'm not saying your bank account will instantly fill, though it might. I'm saying your experience will shift. You'll feel lighter, freer, more creative, more open. And that shift in experience is the shift in consciousness. And consciousness is the only cause. Here's something that will blow your mind. The reason most people don't receive abundance is because they're constantly broadcasting I don't have. Think about it. When you worry about money, you're saying I don't have enough. When you check prices anxiously, you're saying I don't have enough. When you feel stressed about bills, you're saying I don't have enough. You're like a radio station broadcasting on the frequency of lack 24/7. And the universe, which is just consciousness reflecting back to you, responds. You're right, you don't have enough. Not because there isn't enough, but because you've claimed lack as your identity. Now here's the paradox. The moment you stop needing it, stop desperately wanting it, stop broadcasting lack, it comes. Why? Because you've changed frequencies. You've moved from I don't have to I am, and I am is the name of God. It's the creative power itself. It's pure abundance. When you rest in I am, not I am trying or I am hoping, but simply I am, you're in alignment with the source of all abundance. And what you're aligned with, you receive. Let me tell you the real secret that no one talks about. Abundance isn't something you get. It's something you are. You are not a human being trying to attract abundance. You are abundance itself, temporarily convinced you're not. It's like a wave on the ocean thinking it's separate from water, or a branch thinking it's separate from the tree. You can't be separate from abundance because abundance is your source. It's what you're made of. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a star. You are literally made of stardust, the most abundant substance in the universe. Every thought you think comes from infinite intelligence. Every breath you take comes from infinite life. Every moment you exist, you're sustained by infinite power. How then could you possibly lack anything? The lack you experience isn't because you're separated from abundance. It's because you believe you are. And the moment you stop believing the lie, you wake up to what's always been true. You are not in abundance. You are abundance. So how do you live as abundance when your bank account says otherwise? You start acting from abundance instead of toward it. Here's what I mean. A person acting toward abundance says, when I get money, I'll be generous. A person acting from abundance says, I'm generous now even with little, because generosity is who I am. A person acting toward abundance says, I need to save every penny. A person acting from abundance says, I manage my resources wisely and trust more is always coming. A person acting toward abundance says, I can't do what I want until I'm rich. A person acting from abundance says, I make rich decisions now within my means. Do you see the shift? You're not waiting to be abundant. You're being abundant now with whatever you have. And this isn't pretending. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is recognizing that abundance is a consciousness, not a circumstance. Here's the final truth I want to leave you with. Lack was never your problem. Your problem was believing in lack. The universe has never held back from you. You held back from the universe. Abundance has always been here, infinite and available. You just learned to look at the one empty corner instead of the treasure-filled room. But now you know. Now you see, lack is a lie. Not because I said so, but because reality itself proves it. Moment by moment, breath by breath, you are here. You are alive. You are consciousness experiencing itself. And consciousness is infinite, eternal, and abundant. So stop trying to get abundance. You already are it. Stop trying to manifest wealth. You already contain it. Stop waiting for the universe to give you permission. You are the universe expressing as you. Claim it, own it, be it. Not tomorrow, not when conditions change. Now. Because lack is a lie and you are the truth. My friend, I'm not sharing this with you to motivate you or inspire you. I'm sharing it to wake you up. You've been asleep in the dream of lack, and it's time to wake up. Look around you. Really look. The abundance is everywhere. You are swimming in abundance, calling yourself thirsty. So here's what you're going to do. Stop rehearsing lack. Stop talking about what you don't have. Stop agreeing with poverty when it knocks on your door. Start being the abundance you seek. Start acting from fullness. Start living as though the universe is rigged in your favor, because it is. And watch what happens. Watch how fast your world transforms when you stop believing the lie. Lack is a lie. You are abundance. Live accordingly. Thank you, and good evening. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures, and I'll see you in the next video.
Imagination is the one and only reality. Everything that now exists in your world was first a conception, an idea, a state of consciousness. There is no exception to this rule. The clothes you wear, the chair upon which you sit, the building around us all began as an idea in someone's mind before it was projected into space. You are consciousness. You are not your body, your circumstances, your bank account, your social position. These are but shadows, reflections of your states of consciousness. The real you is the awareness, the I am at the center of your being. Once you truly understand this, you have taken the first step toward mastery of life. Now, the great secret to getting whatever you want lies in one simple principle: what you assume you become. Your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, direct the course of your life. Assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. This is the law by which all things come into manifestation. Consider for a moment when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled when you live from the end, mentally dwelling in the state of already having what you desire. You set in motion forces beyond your conscious awareness that reshape your world to match your assumption. This is not positive thinking.
This is the creative use of consciousness itself. Let me share with you a simple experiment to prove this principle. Tonight, before you sleep, define clearly in your mind something you deeply desire. It could be a specific amount of money, a relationship, a job promotion, profit of anything that feels significant to you. Now close your eyes and ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? What would I experience? How would I see the world? What would I hear from others? Then create a scene in your imagination that implies your desire is already a fact. Perhaps it is a friend congratulating you on your good fortune. Perhaps it is simply the feeling of relief and satisfaction knowing your desire is now manifest. Make this scene as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Enter into it completely. Feel the reality of it. Experience the naturalness of having what you want. Do this exercise for just a few minutes, but with complete concentration and feeling. Then release it and fall asleep in this consciousness. You need not repeat it again and again throughout the day, though you may if you wish. The important thing is the intensity of feeling, the completeness of the experience in your imagination. What you have done is plant a seed in the fertile soil of consciousness. Just as a farmer plants a seed and then allows nature to take its course, you must allow the seed to grow naturally into manifestation. Do not dig it up every day to see if it has sprouted. Have faith in the law, for the law never fails. You see, imagination is not fantasy as most believe it to be. Imagination is the very creative power of God operating within you. Man is all imagination and God is man and exists in us. And we imagine when you are literally exercising divine creative power. This is why the Bible tells us to be renewed by the transformation of your mind. Your mind, properly directed in imagination, transforms your entire life. Many of you may be thinking, but I have tried to imagine good things and they did not come to pass. May I suggest that your failure was not in the law, but in your application of it. You may have imagined what you want, but did you feel the reality of it? Did you accept it as true in consciousness, or did doubt and disbelief counteract your creative work? I tell you now, the outer world is a reflection, a shadow of your inner assumptions. Here is no way under the sun for you to escape your current state of consciousness. Whatever you are conscious of being, you will express, and what you are not conscious of being, you cannot express. This is immutable law. Consider the biblical instruction, whatsoever things you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. This is not a promise of some future fulfillment, it is a statement of a present fact. When you pray, when you imagine, you must believe you have already received, and then you will manifest it in your world. So many people reverse this process. They look to the evidence of their senses to tell them what is possible. They say, when I see it, I will believe it. But the creative process works in the opposite direction. When you believe it, you will see it. Your consciousness must precede your experience, never the reverse. There is literally nothing you cannot be, do, or have when you know how to use the creative power of your own consciousness. Let me address a question that may have arisen in your mind. What about other people? Can I use this law to influence others? The answer is both simple and profound. There are no others. What you see in another is only a reflection of a state within yourself. When you change your concept of another, they must change relative to you. This does not violate free will, for consciousness is one. The separation we perceive is an illusion of the senses. At the deeper level of being, we are united in the one consciousness that underlies all life. This is why the Bible says, in Him we live and move and have our being. We are individualized centers of the one divine consciousness. So if there is someone in your life who you wish would change, a critical spouse, a difficult boss, an unruly child, do not try to change their behavior directly. Instead, change your consciousness of them. See them mentally as you wish them to be. Interact with them in your imagination as if they were already expressing the qualities you desire to see. If you persist in this new consciousness, they must conform to your new conception, for your consciousness of them is part of your world of shadows that must rearrange itself to match your inner assumptions. The consciousness that creates worlds is divine love itself. When your desire springs from love, love for yourself, love for others, love for life itself, its manifestation is assured. If you find that your desire is tinged with fear, resentment, or the need to prove something, I urge you to elevate it. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What is the essence of this desire? Often you will discover that beneath the superficial want lies a deeper longing that is pure and loving. For instance, you may think you want wealth to show others your worth, but beneath that is the deeper desire for freedom, security, and the ability to express your gifts. Focus on this essence, and your manifestation will come more naturally and bring greater fulfillment when it arrives. Many of you have been taught that circumstances create your thoughts and feelings. You believe that when your circumstances improve, then you will feel better and think more positively. This is exactly backward. Your circumstances are the effect, not the cause of your consciousness. When you wait for circumstances to change before changing your consciousness, you trap yourself in a circle of perpetual limitation. The way out is to boldly assume the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, regardless of appearing circumstances. This requires a radical faith in the primacy of consciousness. You must be willing to call those things which do not yet appear in your world as though they did. This is not self-deception, it is understanding the true creative process. Do not be discouraged if your world does not change overnight. Continue night after night to sleep in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. Your persistence in maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, despite contradictory evidence from your senses, is the measure of your faith. And according to your faith it is done unto you. There may be times when doubts arise, when your old patterns of thought reclaim your attention. This is natural. Do not fight these thoughts or feelings. Simply acknowledge them and gently bring your consciousness back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, you are breaking lifelong habits of thought. Just as it would take time and consistent effort to master a new physical skill, like playing the piano or speaking a new language, it takes practice to master this new way of using consciousness. But I promise you this, with continued application, this process becomes easier and more natural. You will find yourself spontaneously thinking from your desire rather than of it. When this shift occurs, manifestation accelerates dramatically. Now let me address an aspect that many find difficult: letting go of the how. Your job is not to determine how your desire will manifest. Your job is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and allow infinite intelligence to bring it about in the most appropriate way. Often we limit our good by trying to dictate exactly how it should come to us. We may have a specific person, circumstance, or event in mind as the vehicle for our desire. But by fixating on the specific channel, we block countless other channels through which our good might flow. The consciousness that created the universe does not need your assistance in determining the path of manifestation. Your role is to determine the what through your assumption. The how will take care of itself. When you try to control the how, you limit yourself to what your current mindset believes is possible. When you surrender the how while maintaining the feeling of the end, you open yourself to infinite possibilities. You are the very consciousness in which all things exist. When you know this not intellectually but experientially, you step into your divine inheritance as a creative being made in the image of God. Consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you will express in your world. Your assumptions persisted hardened into fact. Therefore, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The creative process involves clarifying your desire, constructing a scene that implies fulfillment, and experiencing that scene with full sensory and emotional involvement until it feels natural. Sleep in the consciousness of your desire, fulfilled, allowing it to sink deeply into your subconscious mind, where it will germinate and express in your outer world. Do not concern yourself with the how. Your job is to maintain the consciousness of the end, and the means will take care of themselves. Be persistent in your new assumption, though your senses may deny it. Continue to be faithful to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Express gratitude for your desire as though it were already manifest. This attitude accelerates the manifestation process. Finally, embody the consciousness of your desire in all aspects of your life. Think, feel, speak, and act as the person who already has what you desire. The power is not outside of you. It is not something to attain or achieve. It is your very being, your I amness. Use this power consciously, lovingly, and with reverence, and there is absolutely nothing you cannot be, do, or have.
Welcome, beautiful soul. If you found this video, it's no accident. You're here because you're ready to shift your energy, raise your vibration, and align with the abundance that's waiting for you. In the next few minutes, you'll hear over 100 powerful declarations designed to help you embody the feelings of prosperity, success, love, and limitless possibility. These aren't just words, they're energetic shifts that will help you become a magnet for everything you desire. You can use this video anytime you need an instant vibration boost. Play it first thing in the morning to set your day's intention. Listen before bed to program your subconscious mind, or use it whenever you want to realign with your highest self. As you listen, really feel each declaration in your body. Let the words sink into your heart and cells. You'll notice that each declaration also appears on screen as you hear it. This powerful combination of hearing and seeing engages multiple pathways to your subconscious mind, allowing the positive messages to integrate even more deeply into your being. Whether you choose to close your eyes and focus purely on the sound, or keep them open to read along with each declaration, you're creating a multi-sensory experience that bypasses your conscious resistance and speaks directly to the part of your mind that creates your reality. Take a comfortable position, breathe deeply, and let's begin this beautiful journey of transformation together. You don't have to believe these declarations completely right now. Just be open to the possibility that they could be true for you. Remember, you are worthy, you are powerful, and you are ready to receive all the good that life has to offer. Let's raise your vibration now. I am a powerful creator of my reality. Abundance flows to me effortlessly and naturally. I am worthy of all the good things life has to offer. Money comes to me easily and frequently. I attract opportunities that align with my highest good. I am grateful for the wealth that surrounds me now. My income increases consistently every month. I radiate confidence and attract success. I am open to receiving abundance in all forms. The universe conspires to help me succeed. I trust the process of life completely. I am aligned with the energy of prosperity. Every day brings new opportunities for growth. I deserve to live an abundant life. My positive energy attracts positive results. I am a magnet for financial abundance. I choose thoughts that serve my highest good. Wealth flows to me from multiple sources. I am grateful for my expanding prosperity. I release all limiting beliefs about money. I embrace my power to create positive change. Amazing opportunities come to me daily. I am worthy of love, success, and happiness. My bank account grows larger every day. I attract the right people at the right time. I am living my life purpose with passion. Money is a positive force in my life. I welcome unexpected financial blessings. I am confident in my ability to succeed. The universe supports my dreams and goals. I am open to new streams of income. My vibration attracts miraculous experiences. I celebrate my financial victories, big and small. I am becoming wealthier every single day. Love and abundance are my natural state. I trust my intuition to guide me perfectly. I am surrounded by endless possibilities. My positive mindset creates positive outcomes. I attract clients and customers effortlessly. I am grateful for money and money is grateful for me. I step into my power fearlessly. Prosperity is flowing to me right now. I deserve to be compensated well for my gifts. I am a successful and prosperous person. My dreams are manifesting into reality. I welcome change as an opportunity for growth. I am aligned with the frequency of abundance. Money loves me and I love money. I attract abundance through joy and gratitude. I am worthy of financial freedom. My wealth creates positive impact in the world. I trust the timing of my life perfectly. I am open to receiving more than I can imagine. Success comes naturally and easily to me. I am grateful for this moment of transformation. I radiate love and attract love in return. My income exceeds my expenses with ease. I am a wise steward of my financial resources. I attract mentors and guides who support my success. I am living an extraordinary life. Money flows to me while I sleep. I am aligned with my soul's purpose. I welcome prosperity in all areas of my life. I am confident in my unique gifts and talents. The universe rewards my positive actions. I am grateful for my expanding abundance. I attract opportunities that excite and inspire me. I am worthy of premium prices for my services. My energy field magnetizes wealth and success. I choose to see abundance everywhere I look. I am financially free and living my dreams. I trust that everything is working out for me. I am a powerful co-creator with the universe. Money comes to me in fun and surprising ways. I am grateful for my growing prosperity consciousness. I attract high-paying opportunities effortlessly. I am worthy of receiving without struggle. My vibration attracts my perfect life. I am open to abundance beyond my current imagination. I celebrate every sign of increasing prosperity. I am becoming more successful every day. The universe provides for me abundantly. I am worthy of wealth and financial security. I attract people who support my highest good. I am living in alignment with my values. Money is drawn to my positive energy. I am grateful for unexpected financial gifts. I trust my ability to create wealth consistently. I am open to receiving abundance from all sources. My prosperity consciousness expands daily. I attract situations that benefit everyone involved. I am worthy of living without financial stress. I welcome opportunities to serve and prosper. I am grateful for the abundance that is coming. I radiate worthiness and attract respect. I am aligned with the energy of success. Money flows to me through channels of joy. I am worthy of having my desires fulfilled. I trust that I am always provided for. I am grateful for this moment of empowerment. I am open to receiving all the good the universe has for me. I attract wealth through authentic self-expression. I am worthy of abundance in all forms. My positive energy creates positive bank statements. I welcome financial miracles into my life. I am grateful for my expanding comfort zone. I attract investors and supporters naturally. I am worthy of premium experiences and relationships. Money serves my highest purpose and greatest good. I am living proof that dreams do come true. I attract abundance through love and service. I am worthy of wealth that grows generously. I welcome opportunities to multiply my income. I am grateful for the prosperity that flows through me. I radiate abundance and attract abundant people. I am worthy of financial peace and security. I trust the universe to deliver beyond my expectations. I am aligned with the frequency of infinite possibility. Money and I have a loving, respectful relationship. I am grateful for the abundant life I am creating. I attract success by being authentically myself. I am worthy of wealth that allows me to give generously. I welcome prosperity as my natural birthright. I am grateful for every blessing, seen and unseen. I radiate joy and attract joyful abundance. I am worthy of financial freedom and creative expression. I trust that my highest good is unfolding perfectly. I am open to receiving abundance in unexpected ways. I celebrate my journey of growth and prosperity. I am grateful for the powerful creator I am becoming. Take a deep breath and feel how your energy has shifted. Notice the lightness, the possibility, the hope that's flowing through you right now. This is your natural state. You are abundance, you are love, you are infinite possibility. Carry this energy with you throughout your day. Return to this video whenever you need a reminder of who you really are and what you're capable of creating. Remember, transformation happens one thought, one belief, one declaration at a time. You've just planted 130 seeds of abundance in your consciousness. Water them with gratitude, tend them with consistent action, and watch your reality transform. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who could use a vibration boost. Your support helps us reach more souls who are ready for positive transformation. Until next time, keep shining your light and attracting all the good that's meant for you.
Money is not merely a physical object or a transactional tool, but a reflection of your inner state of being. Everything in your external world mirrors the relationship you have with yourself. Yes, with yourself. You are not chasing paper or numbers, but your own sense of worthiness, safety, and alignment. Money flows or withholds itself in accordance with your subconscious feelings of deservingness, which are shaped by how deeply you love and approve of yourself. When you hold contradictory beliefs, such as desiring wealth while secretly believing you are unworthy of abundance, money responds not to your conscious desire, but to the vibrational tone of your dominant inner state. You may tell yourself you want financial freedom, but if underneath you harbor guilt, shame, or resentment towards yourself, money will reflect that confusion by remaining inconsistent or absent. You cannot receive fully what you are not prepared to embrace from within. The energy of money, like all energy, is drawn to harmony, clarity, and love. When you begin to detach from the belief that your value is measured by what you have or do not have, you step into the freedom of becoming a conscious creator rather than a desperate seeker. Money begins to appear more frequently when you dissolve the illusion that it is external to your being. You stop measuring your worth through your bank account and start realizing that your internal sense of peace, confidence, and love for yourself is the true currency. As you practice assuming the feeling of already being abundant, already being worthy, already being supported by life, money begins to take notice, not because it judges, but because energy always aligns with its own likeness. You no longer fear lack, because you understand lack is not a punishment, but a mirror showing you where you've forgotten your power. When you return to the feeling of certainty within, money returns to you naturally, because it no longer needs to teach you through absence. You might think money is teaching you about wealth, but in truth, money is teaching you about love. The love you hold, the love you withhold, and the love you have yet to remember belongs to you unconditionally. You become magnetic to the flow of money, not when you chase it or manipulate your circumstances, but when you fall in love with your own being, when you soften into the knowing that your worth is not up for negotiation. Money comes to you as a response to your inner dialogue, and when your dialogue is loving, confident, and self-affirming, money has no resistance. The energy of money responds to the frequency of wholeness, and the more whole you feel within, the more it circulates around you with ease. When you assume that you are already supported, you send a message into the energetic field that you are safe, capable, and ready. You no longer beg or plead or wait for external proof. You move with the feeling of being held by the unseen currents of life. Money doesn't rescue you. It reflects your own rescue of self from limitation and self-abandonment. When you love yourself enough to believe you are already chosen, already worthy, already aligned, you unlock a level of ease that transcends hustle and effort. You begin to feel relaxed in your body, expansive in your mind, and generous in your spirit because you trust that life reflects your belief. Not your doubt, not your fear, but your unwavering assumption of fulfillment. The more love you feel for yourself, the more money becomes a cooperative energy, eager to match your new internal rhythm. You may have believed that suffering was noble, that self-sacrifice was virtuous, that guilt was necessary, but these are the very frequencies that keep you in a state of emotional debt. You cannot attract wealth while believing you must earn your right to receive. When you break free from the belief that you need to prove yourself to be valuable, money can finally begin to reach you through paths you had long forgotten were possible. You stop resisting the flow and begin allowing, not from passivity, but from empowered surrender. Self-love is not a luxury. It is the foundation of all attraction. The moment you shift from trying to get money to realizing you are the vibration of wealth itself, the universe reorganizes in your favor. You stop asking for permission to receive, and instead assume the posture of one who is already held by infinite supply. You become less attached to outcomes because you know that all outcomes originate from your inner certainty. You release desperation, which is rooted in self-doubt, and you embody confidence, which is rooted in self-love. This change is not always loud, but it is always magnetic. Your external reality becomes softer, more cooperative, more harmonious, because you have returned to internal harmony. You no longer make money your source, but your mirror, and mirrors never lie. They reflect what you believe to be true about yourself. When you assume the feeling of already being fulfilled, you stop needing money to fill the void. And ironically, money flows more freely because it is no longer burdened with the task of proving your value. You love yourself enough to know that you are already whole. And from that wholeness, money becomes a joyful companion, not a savior. You move differently, speak differently, and show up to life with a quiet confidence that whispers to the universe, I remember who I am. And the universe responds, not because it grants you a wish, but because it reflects your inner knowing without resistance or delay. Each time you choose to believe in your sufficiency, money aligns with that belief because it is a neutral responder to your energetic stance. Money is not teaching you how to become more valuable. It is showing you where you've forgotten that you already are. It challenges your self-perception not to punish, but to elevate. When you finally love yourself enough to no longer abandon your own needs, your own vision, your own joy, money responds as a faithful echo. You stop waiting for signs and become the sign. You stop seeking validation and become the source of it. And from this place, you find yourself not only attracting money, but holding it with grace, circulating it with love, and multiplying it with ease. Because now you are aligned, not just with money, but with your truest self. You can no longer be manipulated by fear when you remember that you are not chasing abundance. You are returning to it. The illusion of lack was never real. It was only the absence of self-recognition. When you love yourself, you recognize that what you desire is simply an extension of your own being. Money is not a prize at the end of the journey. It is a companion on the path of remembering. When you walk in the energy of already being enough, already being chosen, already being rich in spirit, money doesn't have to fix anything. It simply reflects everything. You see that love and money are the same frequency, receptivity, openness, alignment. And when you are open to love, you are open to wealth because they are one. Every time you catch yourself believing that money is the cause of your happiness or the answer to your struggles, you remind yourself that it is merely a symbol of the inner harmony or discord you carry. You release the illusion of separation and come home to the truth that you are the creator, not the victim of your financial reality. And with this realization, you step into the power to change it, not by force, but by love. As you live from the feeling of already having, already being, already knowing, your relationship with money transforms from one of dependence to one of collaboration. You are no longer begging the world to see your worth. You are standing in it. Money follows the feeling of certainty, and certainty is the natural outcome of love. When you love yourself, you no longer fear the unknown because you know who you are in the midst of it. You walk with calm expectancy, not because life owes you anything, but because you know that life cannot deny what you already claim as true within. You don't chase, you attract. And your attraction is rooted not in strategy, but in identity. When you begin to embody the version of yourself who no longer negotiates their worth based on temporary conditions, you become the anchor for lasting abundance. You do not need to convince money to stay because you are no longer vibrating from the fear of loss or rejection. You recognize that love, not control, is the gateway through which wealth enters and remains. And when you treat yourself with kindness, with inner reverence, with the dignity of someone who truly belongs, money becomes an extension of that belonging. It shows up not to prove anything, but to reflect what is already settled within you. This is not about pretending, but about persisting in a state of inner knowing, even when the outer hasn't caught up, because you know now that the outer always bows to the inner. You are not asking the world to bring you proof. You are being the proof, living from the felt sense of completion. The more deeply you commit to the belief that you are inherently supported, the more you will see life rearranged to support you. This commitment is not made in the mind alone. It is felt in your body, in your emotions, in the spaces where you used to carry tension and now carry peace. Money doesn't come to the version of you who is waiting to feel safe. It comes to the version of you who feels safe now, not because of the digits in your account, but because of the love in your heart. When you stop seeking money as the permission slip to love yourself and start loving yourself as the origin point of wealth, you no longer hold your power hostage to external results. You become steady in your vibration, no longer reactive to delays because you understand the truth. Nothing is being withheld. What appears as delay is only the time it takes for your new state to stabilize and materialize. You trust the process because you trust yourself. You start to see how every past struggle with money was really a lesson in self-worth disguised as financial limitation. Each no you experienced was asking you to say yes to yourself more fully. Each time you feared running out, the invitation was to remember the infinite supply within you. And now you see that you were never blocked. You were becoming conscious. The blocks were beliefs, and you hold the power to dissolve them by loving the parts of you that once felt unworthy of release. You don't need to fix or force or figure everything out. You need only return to the truth that you are whole right now. And in that wholeness, you allow the natural flow of abundance to resume. There is no effort in being who you already are, only willingness to remember it. The more you rest in your true identity, the more money flows without resistance because it is no longer being asked to solve your identity crisis. You are no longer dependent on outcomes to feel good. And in this detachment, paradoxically, outcomes shift in your favor. You stop performing and start aligning. You stop proving and start allowing. And in this space of relaxed power, you become undeniably magnetic, not because you are doing more, but because you are being more of who you truly are. Money flows, not because you chase it, but because you've stopped running from yourself. And in the end, you realize that loving yourself was never separate from receiving. It was always the foundation of it. And that's it for the day. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to share your thoughts and insights in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.
My dear friends, what I'm about to share with you will challenge everything you believe about chance, luck, and the nature of reality itself. On a single Tuesday morning, I won not one, but two jackpots. $27 million at 10:47 a.m. and $5 million at 2:33 p.m. the same day. Before you dismiss this as impossible coincidence, let me tell you something that will shake you to your core. There was no luck involved. What happened was the inevitable result of a law as reliable as gravity itself. Let me paint the scene for you. It was an ordinary Tuesday, or so it seemed. I had been practicing what I teach you all, living in the end, for months. I had been assuming the feeling of being financially free, not hoping for it, not wishing for it, but living from that assumption as though it were already my reality. That morning, as I stood in line at the corner store, I wasn't purchasing lottery tickets with desperate hope. I was simply collecting what was already mine. You see, in consciousness, I had already won. The physical world was merely catching up to reflect my inner state. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is something most people will never understand about manifestation. When the first winning numbers were announced at 10:47 a.m., I felt no surprise, none whatsoever. I felt the calm confirmation of something I already knew to be true. $27 million was now reflecting in my bank account, but in consciousness, it had been mine for months. Now, you might think the story ends there, but the universe wasn't finished demonstrating this law to me. At 2:33 p.m. that same day, I won again. Another $5 million. Two jackpots in one day. The mathematical probability, 1 in several billion. But I'm here to tell you that probability has nothing to do with it. As I taught you, assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Let me explain what this means for you personally. The secret I'm about to reveal has been hidden in plain sight for centuries, and once you grasp it, you'll never look at your circumstances the same way again. Your words are creative commands. Every word you speak is a command to your subconscious mind, not a request, a command. Your subconscious doesn't argue. It doesn't question whether you deserve what you're commanding. It simply accepts and begins to rearrange your world to match your words. Most people walk through life unconsciously cursing themselves. They say, I never have enough money, and their subconscious obediently ensures they never have enough. They declare, "I'm always struggling," and struggle becomes their faithful companion. But when you understand that your words are creative forces, you begin to choose them with the same care a sculptor chooses his chisel strokes. Each word is either building your desired reality or destroying it. Before my wins, I had developed the habit of speaking as if wealth was already mine. I would say, "I am so grateful that money flows to me effortlessly." Not "I hope money will flow to me," but "money flows to me," present tense, accomplished fact. I discovered something profound. Whatever you assume to be true, regardless of current evidence, will eventually manifest as your reality. This isn't positive thinking. This is understanding how consciousness creates reality. What I'm about to tell you next is the exact mental technique I used on the morning of my double jackpot win, and it's so simple that most people dismiss it as too easy to work. For months before my wins, every night before sleep, I would enter what I call the state akin to sleep, that drowsy, receptive state between waking and sleeping. In this state, I would assume the feeling of financial freedom, not the future feeling, but the present feeling. I would imagine checking my bank balance and seeing millions. I would feel the security, the freedom, the joy of knowing I could help my family, travel anywhere, live without financial concern. But here's the crucial part. I wouldn't think, "This will happen someday." I would think, "This is my reality." I learned to live in the end, to assume that my desire is already fulfilled, and I maintained that assumption regardless of my current circumstances. This wasn't about pretending or lying to myself. It was about understanding that consciousness is the only reality, and everything else is simply its reflection. The months leading up to my wins, I lived as a wealthy man who hadn't yet seen his wealth reflected in the physical world. I carried myself differently. I thought differently. I spoke differently. Not because I was pretending, but because in consciousness, in the only reality that matters, I was wealthy. But here's where most people make the fatal mistake that keeps them trapped in lack forever. They make the fatal mistake of seeking evidence. The greatest obstacle to manifestation is the need to see evidence before believing. Most people say, "I'll believe it when I see it." But the law works in reverse. You'll see it when you believe it. After assuming my wealth for months, there were many times when my physical circumstances seemed to contradict my assumption. Bank statements showed the same modest amounts. Bills arrived as usual. Everything in the physical world suggested I was the same person I'd always been. But I had learned that the physical world is always the last to know. It's simply a shadow cast by consciousness. Shadows don't create. They only reflect. Your outer world is the shadow of your inner world. So when physical evidence seemed to contradict my assumption, I didn't waver. I held firm to what I knew to be true in consciousness. This is what I mean when I say faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition. Every thought you think repeatedly becomes a groove in consciousness, and your life flows along these grooves like water follows a riverbed. I made it a daily practice to repeat my assumption. I am abundantly wealthy. Money flows to me from multiple sources. I am financially free. I repeated these statements, not as empty affirmations, but as statements of fact. The same way you might say, "My name is this or that," or "I live at here or there." What happened next will show you exactly why most people's affirmations fail. And the one crucial element that makes all the difference, the key was feeling. Feeling is the secret. You can repeat words all day, but if they don't carry the feeling of truth, they're just noise. When I affirmed my wealth, I felt wealthy. I felt the relief, the security, the freedom that comes with financial abundance. This feeling tone is what impresses the subconscious. Your subconscious doesn't respond to words. It responds to the emotional conviction behind those words. One of the most powerful techniques I employed was gratitude in advance. Instead of waiting to be grateful after receiving my wealth, I was grateful for it while it was still invisible to the physical senses. Every morning I would say, "Thank you for my financial abundance. Thank you that money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Thank you for my freedom to live without financial worry. This wasn't hoping or wishing. This was thanking for something I knew was already mine. Gratitude in advance is the ultimate expression of faith. It says, I'm so confident in the reality of my assumption that I'm already grateful for its fulfillment. Here's a paradox that confuses many. The more desperately you want something, the longer it takes to manifest. Why? Because desperation implies lack, and the law can only give you more of what you predominantly feel. After setting my assumption in motion, I practiced what I call the Sabbath. I rested from my labor. I didn't obsessively check lottery results or frantically buy more tickets. I had done the inner work. Now I trusted the law to do the outer work. The morning of my double win, something extraordinary happened that revealed the true nature of how manifestation works. I went about my normal routine with complete calm. There was no anxiety, no desperate hoping, no need to make anything happen. I moved through the day knowing that everything was unfolding perfectly according to the assumption I had been faithfully maintaining. When the first numbers were drawn and I realized I had won $27 million, my reaction surprised even me. Instead of shock or disbelief, I felt a quiet, of course. It was like remembering something I had temporarily forgotten, rather than discovering something new. And when the second win came that afternoon, another $5 million, I understood that consciousness was demonstrating its power in an undeniable way. 2 jackpots in one day isn't luck. It's law. It's the physical world conforming to an assumption that had been held with unwavering faith. My dear friends, I share this story not to boast, but to prove to you that the law is real, reliable, and available to everyone. You don't need to win the lottery to prove it to yourself. You can start with smaller demonstrations and work your way up. Choose something you desire, not something impossible, but something that would bring you joy and prove the law to you. Assume it's already yours. Feel grateful for it. Live from that assumption, regardless of current circumstances. And most importantly, persist in that assumption until it hardens into fact. Remember, you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of them. The same power that allowed me to win $32 million in one day lives within you. It's not a special gift reserved for a chosen few. It's the fundamental nature of consciousness itself. You are consciousness. You are the operant power in your world. Everything you see around you, every building, every invention, every work of art, began as an assumption in someone's mind. They assumed it was possible, held that assumption with feeling, and watched it manifest in the physical world. Your assumptions of today are your world of tomorrow. Choose them wisely, assume the best, live in the end, and watch as your world transforms to match the magnificence of your imagination. The law knows no favorites. The law of assumption doesn't care about your background, your education, your current circumstances, or your past failures. It only responds to your current assumptions about yourself and your world. I've seen people transform their entire lives by simply changing what they assume to be true about themselves. Health conditions disappear when people assume perfect health. Relationships heal when people assume love and harmony. Businesses flourish when owners assume success and abundance. The law is impersonal and impartial. It works for everyone who works with it. Your only requirement is faith. Not faith in some external power, but faith in the creative power of your own consciousness. Today, right now, you can begin to assume yourself to be the person you wish to be. You can assume your desires are already fulfilled. You can thank God for what is yours in consciousness, even before it appears in the world of shadows. This is not a theory to be debated. It is a law to be demonstrated. Go now and prove it to yourself. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Persist in that assumption and watch as your world rearranges itself to confirm what you have dared to assume. Your greatest days are not behind you. They are ahead of you, waiting for you to claim them through the power of assumption. The same consciousness that won me $32 million in a single day is the consciousness you possess right now. Use it wisely, use it boldly, use it with unwavering faith. Thank you, and may your assumptions manifest with speed and grace.
You are not just a participant in life, but the creator of your reality. When you shift into creator mode, you reclaim the power to shape your destiny. You are the architect of your desires, and every thought you hold acts as the blueprint for the experiences you manifest. The moment you recognize this truth, a profound change begins. This is not a coincidence. It's the universe responding to your awakening. You've stumbled upon this wisdom because you are ready to embody it. Creator mode begins with awareness, awareness of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Every desire you hold is like a seed, and the mind is its soil. What you dwell upon and believe in is nourished and grows. As you notice your inner dialogue, ask yourself, is this aligned with what I truly want? Shifting into this state means becoming intentional. The universe does not respond to your hopes or wishes. It responds to your state of being. As you embody the reality of your desires, you set the tone for your life's symphony. Desire is not random. It's a divine nudge guiding you toward your highest potential. When you feel a deep yearning for something, it's because it already exists within you. Shifting into creator mode means embracing your desires with confidence. There's no need to chase or beg. Instead, you align with the feeling of already having it. Each time you act, think, or feel as if your desire is already fulfilled, you are moving closer to it. This is the essence of creation, living in the end. Imagination is the tool through which all things are created. In creator mode, you consciously direct this power. Picture yourself living the life you desire. Feel the joy and let the scene saturate your being. When you immerse yourself in this vision with vivid clarity, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as reality. This practice is not mere daydreaming. It's the act of creation itself. To attract your desires, you must embody the feelings they bring. What would it feel like to have the life you dream of? Joy, peace, gratitude, and excitement are your indicators of alignment. In creator mode, you make it a habit to dwell in these elevated states. It's not just about thinking, it's about feeling. When you consistently embody the emotions of fulfillment, you align with the frequency of your desires. The outer world cannot help but rearrange itself to match your inner state. The unseen is as real as the seen. Creator mode requires you to trust in the process, even when physical evidence hasn't yet appeared. Faith bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Every moment you hold the vision and act as though it's already yours, you strengthen this bridge. Doubt weakens your creative power, but belief amplifies it. Your reality is a reflection of your convictions. Persist in your assumption, and the invisible will become visible. Gratitude is the language of abundance. In creator mode, you practice being grateful for what you desire, as if you already have it. This shifts your focus from lack to fulfillment. When you feel thankful for your dreams as though they've already materialized, you invite more blessings into your life. Gratitude rewires your mind for positivity and opens the door for miracles. It is not just a reaction, it's a deliberate creation. Creation happens now, not in the past or future. In creator mode, you anchor yourself in the present moment. Each moment is a new opportunity to realign with your desires. When you dwell on past failures or worry about the future, you delay your manifestations. Instead, bring your attention to now. How would you act, feel, or think if you already had your desires? The present is your point of power. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner state. In creator mode, you take responsibility for what you see. If something in your life feels out of alignment, ask yourself, what within me is creating this? By changing your inner assumptions, you naturally shift the external circumstances. Creation is an inside-out process. The universe is always responding to the story you tell yourself. Rewrite it to reflect your highest vision. In creator mode, You trust so deeply in the process that you no longer cling to outcomes. This freedom creates space for miracles to unfold. The more you hold on with desperation, the more resistance you create. Detach, knowing that what is meant for you is already yours. Your inner dialogue is the script for your external reality. In creator mode, you consciously direct yourself to align with your desires. Replace doubts and negativity with affirmations of certainty and abundance. Speak to yourself as if you are already living your dream life. Words are not just expressions. They are commands to the subconscious mind. When your inner conversations are empowering, the outer world reflects that power. Assumption is the key to creation. In creator mode, you live as though your desires are already fulfilled. Assume the role of the person you wish to become. Walk, talk, and act in alignment with this new identity. This is not pretending. It's embodying the truth of what is already possible. The world will conform to the reality you hold within. Assume it fully, and it will manifest effortlessly. Your subconscious mind is the engine of creation. In creator mode, you program it with intention, visualization, repetition, and feeling are your tools. Feed your subconscious only what you want to experience. It does not distinguish between real and imagined. It takes everything you impress upon it as fact. Guard your mind diligently, for it is the soil where your seeds of desire grow. Persistence separates fleeting wishes from manifested realities. In creator mode, you remain steadfast in your vision despite temporary appearances. Challenges may arise, but they are opportunities to deepen your faith. When you persist in assuming the feeling of your desire fulfilled, the universe has no choice but to deliver. Do not waver. Stay committed to your inner knowing. In creator mode, you understand that everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts and emotions emit a vibration that attracts similar frequencies. To bring your desires into physical reality, align your energy with them. Joy, gratitude, and love are high-frequency states that magnetize your dreams. When you elevate your vibration, you become a match for all you seek. Action in creator mode is not force or frantic. It is inspired and effortless. As you align with your desires, the right actions will naturally reveal themselves. You will feel nudged by intuition, and opportunities will appear in perfect timing. Trust this flow and act when inspired. Creation is a dance between intention and surrender. Let inspiration guide you. Limiting beliefs are barriers to your manifestations. In creator mode, you identify and dissolve these blocks. Question any belief that suggests your desires are impossible or that you are unworthy. Replace these limitations with empowering truths. You are infinite, and so are your possibilities. The only limits are those you accept as real. Free your mind and your world will expand. Who you believe yourself to be shapes your entire life. In creator mode, you refine your self-concept to align with your desires. See yourself as capable, worthy, and abundant. Your identity determines your experiences. When you shift how you see yourself, your outer world transforms to match. Become the version of yourself who already has it all. Creation is not always instantaneous, but it is always certain when you remain aligned. In creator mode, you trust the process without impatience. Like planting a seed, you don't dig it up to check its growth. You water it with faith and allow it to flourish. Trust that every step, even the challenges, is bringing you closer to your desires. Your faith is the foundation of your manifestations. Repetition ingrains your desires into your subconscious mind. In creator mode, you revisit your vision and affirmations daily. Consistency is key. Just as water shapes stone over time, your repeated focus shapes reality. Repetition turns your desires into beliefs and beliefs into experiences. Keep your mind fixed on your goal, and it will become your reality. The path to your desires may unfold in unexpected ways. In creator mode, you welcome the unknown with curiosity and excitement. Trust that the universe orchestrates events far beyond your understanding. Detours are not delays, but redirections to something even better. Surrender control and embrace the unfolding mystery of creation. Love is the highest creative force in the universe. In creator mode, you embody love, not just for others, but for yourself and your desires. When you approach life with love, you dissolve resistance and invite miracles. Love your vision, love the process, and love the version of yourself who is creating it all. Love aligns you with the infinite. Your job is not to figure out how your desires will manifest, but to align with their fulfillment. In creator mode, you release the need to control every detail. The universe has infinite ways to bring your dreams to life. Focus on the what and the why and trust the how to unfold naturally. Let go and let it flow. Challenges are not obstacles, but stepping stones to your growth. In creator mode, you see every setback as an opportunity to strengthen your vision. These moments refine your faith and resilience. When you face difficulties, remind yourself that you are still creating. Rise above, recalibrate, and persist. Nothing can stop a creator in alignment. Every small manifestation is a sign of your power. In creator mode, you celebrate these wins as evidence of your alignment. Gratitude for the small opens the door for the grand. Recognize each step forward and let it fuel your faith. The journey is as important as the destination, and joy multiplies your success. Confidence in your creative ability is magnetic. In creator mode, you trust yourself completely. You don't question whether your desires will manifest. You know they will. This inner certainty radiates outward, attracting the people, circumstances, and opportunities you need. Confidence is not arrogance. It's the calm knowing that you are the creator of your life. To truly shift into creator mode is to embody it fully in every moment. You are no longer a passive observer of life, but an active participant in its unfolding. Every thought, feeling, and action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality. You found this wisdom because you are ready to live it. Step into your role as the creator and watch as your desires flow effortlessly into your life. You are infinite, and the universe responds to your command. And that's it for the day. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to share your thoughts and insights in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.
Welcome, beautiful soul. If you found your way here, there's something deep within you that knows you deserve more than you've been giving yourself. Maybe you've been your own harshest critic. Maybe you've been waiting for permission to love yourself fully. That permission starts right here, right now. For the next few minutes, I want you to do something revolutionary. I want you to listen to these words, not as suggestions, but as truths about who you already are. These aren't just affirmations, they're declarations of your inherent worth, your undeniable value, and your unlimited potential. You don't need to earn your worth. You don't need to prove it. You were born worthy, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can take that away from you. As you listen, let these words wash over you. Feel them in your body, breathe them into your heart. Some may feel foreign at first, and that's okay. We're rewiring years of conditioning. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle. You're doing sacred work. Find a comfortable position. Take a deep breath, and let's begin to remember who you truly are. I am inherently valuable just as I am. My worth is not determined by my achievements or failures. I deserve love, respect, and kindness, especially from myself. I am enough, exactly as I am in this moment. My value doesn't decrease based on someone else's inability to see it. I honor my feelings and trust my inner wisdom. I am worthy of taking up space in this world. My voice matters and deserves to be heard. I choose to speak to myself with compassion and understanding. I am deserving of healthy, loving relationships. My mistakes do not define my worth. I trust myself to make decisions that serve my highest good. I am allowed to set boundaries that protect my peace. My needs and desires are valid and important. I celebrate my unique gifts and talents. I am worthy of pursuing my dreams without apology. I choose to surround myself with people who lift me up. My past does not determine my future potential. I am resilient and capable of overcoming challenges. I deserve to prioritize my mental and emotional well-being. I am beautiful inside and out in my own unique way. My opinions and perspectives have value. I am worthy of receiving compliments and praise. I choose to forgive myself for past mistakes. My journey is my own, and I don't need to compare it to others. I am deserving of success and abundance in all areas of life. I trust my intuition and inner guidance. I am allowed to change my mind and grow as a person. My emotional needs are important and deserve attention. I choose self-compassion over self-criticism. I am worthy of taking time for rest and self-care. My dreams are valid and worth pursuing. I deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. I am capable of creating positive change in my life. My worth is not dependent on others' approval. I choose to celebrate my progress, no matter how small. I am deserving of joy and happiness. My authentic self is my greatest gift to the world. I trust that I am exactly where I need to be. I am worthy of asking for help when I need it. My feelings are valid and deserve acknowledgement. I choose to invest in my personal growth and development. I am deserving of second chances and fresh starts. My contributions to the world matter, big or small. I am allowed to take up space and be seen. I trust my ability to handle whatever comes my way. I am worthy of peace and inner calm. My heart is open to giving and receiving love. I choose to honor my commitments to myself. I am deserving of opportunities and new experiences. My story is important and worth sharing. I am allowed to feel proud of my accomplishments. I trust that I am learning and growing every day. I am worthy of financial security and abundance. My time and energy are precious and deserve respect. I choose to surround myself with positivity and hope. I am deserving of comfort and security. My creativity and imagination are valuable gifts. I am allowed to set high standards for how I'm treated. I trust in my ability to create the life I desire. I am worthy of experiencing life's beautiful moments. My sensitivity is a strength, not a weakness. I choose to honor my body with love and care. I am deserving of understanding and empathy. My efforts and hard work are appreciated and valued. I am allowed to put myself first when necessary. I trust that I am loved more than I know. I am worthy of having all my needs met. My presence brings light and value to others. I choose to believe in my unlimited potential. I am deserving of recognition for my efforts. My boundaries are healthy and necessary. I am allowed to feel confident in my abilities. I trust that good things are coming into my life. I am worthy of expressing my true self authentically. My past struggles have made me stronger and wiser. I choose to focus on my strengths and positive qualities. I am deserving of patience as I continue to grow. My inner child deserves love, protection, and play. I am allowed to change direction when something no longer serves me. I trust that I am worthy of my biggest dreams. I am deserving of quality friendships and connections. My healing journey is sacred and important. I choose to speak my truth with courage and grace. I am worthy of being cherished and adored. My talents and skills are gifts meant to be shared. I am allowed to take risks and try new things. I trust that I am guided and supported by the universe. I am deserving of moments of pure joy and laughter. My vulnerability is a sign of strength and courage. I choose to celebrate the miracle of my existence. I am worthy of having dreams that inspire and excite me. My love for myself grows stronger each day. I am allowed to be a work in progress. I trust that I am exactly who I'm meant to be. I am deserving of all the love my heart can hold. My worth is infinite and unchangeable. I choose to see myself through eyes of love and acceptance. I am allowed to shine brightly and inspire others. I trust that my life has meaning and purpose. I am worthy of love, joy, peace, and all of life's blessings, simply because I exist. Now, take a deep breath and feel these truths settling into your heart. You've just spent time reconnecting with your inherent worth, something that was never lost, only temporarily forgotten. These declarations aren't just words. They're reminders of who you've always been beneath the doubt, beneath the fear, beneath the stories you've told yourself about not being enough. Carry these truths with you. Return to them whenever you need reminding. Share them with others, who need to remember their worth too. You are valuable. You are enough. You are worthy of every good thing life has to offer. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You're doing better than you think. What if I told you that right now, in this very moment, you are creating your entire future with nothing more than your imagination? What if everything you've ever wanted is not just possible, but inevitable? If you understand this one fundamental truth that most people never discover, stay with me, because what I'm about to share will completely revolutionize how you see yourself and your power to create. Welcome to this profound exploration of your divine creative power. I am deeply honored that you have chosen to be here with me today, for we are about to embark on a journey that will fundamentally alter your understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. You know, there was a time in my own life when I believed that my circumstances were fixed, that my past dictated my future, and that I was somehow at the mercy of forces beyond my control. But what I discovered, and what I'm about to share with you, changed everything. It will change everything for you too, if you truly understand it. Let me ask you something deeply personal. Are you enjoying the expansion of your desires? Are you delighting in the very act of wanting what you want? This is not a trivial question. It's actually the key to understanding your entire creative process. You see, when you truly enjoy your desires, when they feel natural and inevitable to you, it means something profound is happening within your consciousness. It means your imagination, your true creative faculty, is aligned with your wish. But when you want something that feels impossible, when you desire something but cannot imagine it belonging to you, those desires become painful, don't they? Here's what most people never realize. That pain, that feeling of impossibility, is not because your desire is wrong or unrealistic. It's because you're experiencing what I call contradictory imagining. You're imagining yourself as someone who wants something, while simultaneously imagining yourself as someone who cannot have it. This internal contradiction is the source of all human suffering, and it's completely unnecessary. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because this will transform your life. You are not the physical being you appear to be. You are pure imagination, having a human experience. Your imagination is not some faculty of your mind, it is God Himself, individualized as you. When the Bible says God created man in His own image, it's not talking about your physical appearance, it's talking about your power to imagine, to create through consciousness alone. Think about this for a moment. Every single thing that exists in your physical world was first imagined by someone. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're using to watch this, the building you're in, all of it began as an imaginal act. But here's what's even more profound. Your entire life, every circumstance, every relationship, every condition, all of it is the outpicturing of your habitual imaginal acts. Most people live their entire lives never realizing this. They think they're victims of circumstance, prisoners of their past, or subject to the whims of an external world. But the truth is, you are the operant power in your world. You are the cause of everything that happens to you, not through your actions, but through your assumptions. I remember when this truth first dawned on me. I was struggling with a particular situation that seemed completely beyond my control. I felt powerless, frustrated, and trapped. But then I began to understand what assumption really means. An assumption is not just a thought or a belief. It's a state of consciousness that you occupy. When you assume something to be true, you're not just thinking it, you're being it. Now let me share with you the most practical application of this truth. Every night, as you fall asleep, you have the opportunity to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is the conscious use of your imagination to create your reality. Picture this. You lie down in your bed, and instead of reviewing the day's problems, or worrying about tomorrow's challenges, you enter into an imaginal scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. You don't imagine the process of getting what you want. You imagine having it. You don't imagine yourself hoping or trying or working toward your goal. You imagine yourself already being the person who has achieved it. The secret is not in the vividness of the scene, though that helps. The secret is in the feeling. Can you feel the reality of your imagined state? Can you feel what it would be like to be the person who has what you want? This feeling is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. But here's where most people stumble. They've been practicing limitation for so long that it has become their dominant assumption. They think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and imagine the same limitations day after day, year after year. Then they wonder why their lives don't change. Your beliefs are nothing more than thoughts you've thought so often that they feel true. But here's the liberating truth. What you call reality is simply your most persistent assumption. If you don't like your reality, assume something different. I once knew a man who had been unemployed for months. He was constantly imagining himself as unemployed, constantly feeling the frustration and fear of not having work. He would wake up every morning and immediately imagine the day ahead as another day of rejection and disappointment. He was unknowingly using his imagination to perpetuate his unwanted condition. When I explained this to him, he understood. That very night, he began to imagine himself as employed, not looking for work, not hoping for work, but actually employed. He would fall asleep imagining himself at his desk, feeling the satisfaction of meaningful work, sensing the security of a steady income. Within 2 weeks he received a job offer that was better than anything he had previously imagined possible. This brings us to a profound realization. There is no objective reality out there that you need to conform to. There is only consciousness, and consciousness is the only reality. What you call the physical world is consciousness crystallized, imagination made manifest. This means that every single person in your world is you pushed out. Every relationship, every interaction, every experience is a reflection of your own state of consciousness. When you change your assumptions about yourself, you automatically change your assumptions about others, and they must conform to your new conception of them. Now I want you to understand something crucial about the nature of assumption. When you assume something to be true, you're not trying to convince yourself that it's true. You're not arguing with contrary evidence or forcing yourself to believe something that seems impossible. You're simply dwelling in the state of consciousness that corresponds to your wish fulfilled. Think of it this way. If you wanted to go to New York, you wouldn't stand in Los Angeles trying to convince yourself that you're in New York. You would simply travel to New York. Similarly, if you want to experience a different reality, you don't try to convince yourself from your current state. You simply move to the state of consciousness that corresponds to your desire. The beauty of this understanding is that it makes you completely free. You're not dependent on external circumstances to change before you can be happy. You're not waiting for other people to behave differently before you can feel fulfilled. You're not postponing your joy until some future condition is met. You can enter into the feeling of your wish fulfilled right now, this very moment. Here's what I promise you. If you will consistently assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you will persist in this assumption regardless of what your senses tell you, if you will remain faithful to your new concept of yourself, your world must conform to your assumption. This is not a possibility, it's a law. It's as certain as the law of gravity. The question is not whether this will work. The question is, are you willing to be disciplined enough to assume what you want to be true, even when your current circumstances suggest otherwise? Most people want to see the change before they believe it. They want proof before they have faith. But I'm telling you, you must believe it before you see it. You must assume it before it manifests. This is the order of creation. Imagination first, manifestation second. This requires a complete reversal of how most people think. Instead of reacting to your circumstances, you must learn to create your circumstances through your imaginal acts. Instead of being a victim of your past, you must become the author of your future. Instead of being at the mercy of the world, you must realize that the world is at the mercy of your imagination. I invite you to test this principle in your own life. Choose something you desire, not something small and insignificant, but something that would genuinely transform your experience. Tonight, as you fall asleep, imagine yourself in possession of this desire. Feel the reality of it. Assume it to be true. And then, no matter what happens in the days that follow, persist in this assumption. But I must warn you, this is not a game. This is not positive thinking or wishful dreaming.
This is the conscious use of the divine power within you. When you truly understand and apply this principle, you will never again be able to see yourself as powerless or at the mercy of external circumstances. You will realize that you are the God of your own world, the creator of your own experience, the author of your own story. This knowledge brings with it tremendous responsibility, because you can no longer blame anyone or anything else for your experience. But it also brings with it tremendous power, because you can create any experience you choose. So here's my final question for you. Who do you want to be? Not what do you want to have, not what do you want to do, but who do you want to be? Because whoever you consistently assume yourself to be, you will become. Whatever you persistently imagine yourself to be, you will manifest. The choice is yours. You can continue to live by default, assuming whatever circumstances and past experiences have conditioned you to assume. Or you can live by design, consciously choosing what to assume about yourself and your world. Remember, your imagination is not limited by your past, your circumstances, or what others think is possible for you. Your imagination is limited only by what you are willing to assume to be true. I leave you with this truth. You are far more powerful than you have ever imagined. You are the operant power in your world. You are pure consciousness, having a human experience, and right now, in this very moment, you have the power to assume yourself to be anything you choose to be. The question is not whether you can create the life you desire. The question is, will you use your imagination, assume your desire fulfilled, persist in your assumption, and watch as your world transforms to match your innermost convictions about yourself. You are the creator of your reality. It's time to start creating consciously. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to take responsibility for your creative power, then I invite you to share your own experiences in the comments below. What will you assume about yourself starting tonight? What reality will you create through the power of your imagination? Remember, you don't need to see it to believe it. You need to believe it to see it. The time is now. The power is yours. Use it wisely.
Do you know someone who gets angry, anxious, or upset over the smallest things? A surprising number of people have trouble restraining their emotions, especially during periods of stress and uncertainty. When something doesn't go their way, they get overwhelmed by extreme feelings like rage or distress, transforming even the most minor conflicts into damaging and embarrassing situations. For example, let's say you're debating with someone about a subject you both care about, like sports or politics. All you want to do is make your point, but the other person seems to be getting angrier and angrier. Perhaps they raise their voice or make derogatory comments about you or your beliefs. What starts as a friendly debate escalates into swearing, name-calling, and personal criticisms. Why? Because not everyone knows how to control their emotions. When they hear something they don't like, many people react impulsively, like a wave of frustration and volatility is crashing onto their heads. These people may be prone to feelings of defensiveness, as if any opposition is an insult to their character. They might become angry that people aren't validating their ideas, or because they're struggling to communicate exactly what they mean. Once these emotions start swirling in their heads, they're likely to make bad decisions. They may become desperate to get their way, damaging their relationships and hurting the people they care about. Only after the dust settles do they realize the damage they've done. If you find yourself in a similar situation where your emotions are tested, how can you prevent your emotions from spiraling out of control? In this video, we're going to discuss 12 powerful habits anyone can use to master what's known as non-reacting. The basic idea is simple. By recognizing extreme emotions and delaying impulsive reactions, you can make good decisions when it matters most. These habits will help you do just that. Many of these tricks and techniques are employed by highly disciplined people every single day. Like exercising physical muscles, it takes time and consistent effort to build real emotional discipline. But with these everyday habits, you'll learn to control your emotions and navigate any situation with patience and composure. Number 1. Chemical countdown. When you experience an emotional conflict, chemicals rush into your brain that motivate extreme reactions and impulsive behaviors. If you want to control your emotions, you need to wait for that rush of chemicals to disappear before taking action. One simple trick is to close your eyes and count to 5. During those 5 seconds, the chemicals in your brain will slow down enough to see your situation clearly. I know it sounds simple, but those 5 seconds can spare you from years of impulsiveness and regret. Number 2. Find your roots. When you feel strong emotions bubbling up inside you, try searching for the root of the problem. In other words, ask yourself why you might be feeling the way you're feeling. If you're impulsively angry about something someone said, ask yourself why their comment triggered such a strong emotional reaction. This habit immediately changes your perspective, forcing you to step back and analyze your emotions from the outside. This instantly puts you in a position of emotional control, and it reveals what's really causing your distress. Often, the source of a feeling isn't what it appears. Once you find it, you can face the actual problem without doing damage to yourself or others. Number 3. Sources of resentment. Many of us have a bad habit of stewing on feelings of anger or resentment. Let's say you have an argument with a friend. You both walk away feeling hurt and irritated. But instead of expressing those feelings and finding a solution, you allow your anger inside you to simmer and grow. Over time, you may even lose track of why you were angry in the first place. The longer you wait to resolve these feelings, the harder it becomes to make those emotions go away. This is true of many negative emotions, like sadness or embarrassment. Ignoring these feelings can create lasting emotional turmoil, so speak up and resolve your feelings before it's too late. Number 4. Name your emotions. We often struggle to control our emotions because we don't really know what we're feeling. All we recognize is a swirling cloud of thoughts and feelings. Our emotions become muddled and frustrating, so we seek immediate relief instead of understanding what's going wrong. In situations like this, try naming your emotions. As soon as you feel something bubbling up inside you, ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling? Am I angry or sad, impatient or embarrassed? Once you put a name to your emotions, they become smaller, simpler, and easier to understand. Number 5, manage your stress. Stress has a significant effect on your emotional state. When you're stressed, your patience and discipline wear thin. It feels like the world is crashing down all around you, and minor things may trigger extreme emotional outbursts and irrational decisions. Any kind of stress can impact your emotional state, so make a habit of relieving some stress every day. There are plenty of stress-relieving activities out there, like writing, meditation, and exercise. Any of these habits, if practiced regularly, may lower your stress levels, making it much easier to process and control your emotions. Number 6. Opportunities for expression. Many people lose control of their emotions because they don't allow themselves to express how they really feel. Men especially stuff their feelings down and pretend everything's fine until the day their emotions suddenly explode outward. This is when extreme emotions do the most damage to you and the people in your life. For your own sake, don't let your emotions fester in the back of your mind. Create opportunities to express your emotions on a regular basis. Write in a journal, talk with a loved one, or sit down with a mental health professional. Make self-expression a normal part of your routine, and you'll begin to understand yourself a whole lot better. Number 7. Channel your feelings. Talking or writing aren't the only way to express emotions. You can also channel those feelings into activities like physical sports or creative hobbies. These activities occupy your mind and channel your energy. in a way that brings calm and clarity. For example, if you're caught up in a stressful situation, you might try singing at the top of your lungs. There are dozens of activities like singing that release your feelings and change your state of mind. Find one that suits your interests. That way, you can channel your emotions into something constructive. Number 8, the empathy routine. When you're angry at someone, try thinking about your situation from their point of view. You may feel like you've been wronged, but it's possible the other person feels the same way. They might be in a challenging position, or like you, struggling to understand why they feel the way they feel. In either case, practicing empathy can neutralize extreme emotions and help the two of you find common ground. Even if you're not actively upset, this is a great habit for expanding your emotional intelligence. Practicing empathy challenges you to reflect on your feelings, question your assumptions, and approach every situation with a calm and collected state of mind. Number 9, possess your emotions. Are you ashamed of your emotions? Too many people avoid responsibility for their genuine feelings because they're embarrassed or ashamed to feel them. If someone asks you how you're feeling, you might pretend everything's okay and hide your emotions from the world. But this only deepens your emotional turmoil. When you're feeling overwhelmed, take responsibility for your emotions because there's nothing shameful about how you feel. Number 10, the boiling point. Even if you learn to control your emotions, you may be too upset to hold those emotions inside you. Some people call this the boiling point. It's the moment just before your feelings bubble up and explode. If you want to control your emotions, get to know your boiling point so that you never do or say something you regret. When you're almost over the edge, remove yourself from the situation and give yourself time to cool off. Number 11, create your mantra. Sometimes, when you're feeling strong emotions, it helps to remind yourself what you're working toward or what kind of person you want to be. A simple mantra or a meaningful phrase can help you find perspective and rise above negative emotions like anger or frustration. These feelings might be strong in the moment, but when you think about what really matters, it's easier to maintain control. It may take some time to find a mantra that's unique and special to you. There are all kinds of mantras out there, but often the powerful mantras are the ones you create for yourself. A few repetitions of this meaningful phrase can relieve stress, provide clarity, and remind you what's really important. Number 12, the power of breath. Many disciplined people have developed incredible patience and willpower using the simple power of their breath. You've probably heard about breathing exercises to relieve stress or anxiety, but why does breathing affect your emotional state? The first half of your breath, the inhale, influences your sympathetic nervous system, which controls your fight or flight response. Stopping for a deep breath of air dissuades impulsive behavior in favor of more logical decisions. The second half, the exhale, comes from your parasympathetic nervous system, which affects your ability to relax and calm down. Simply exhaling a breath of air can pacify negative feelings, giving you a sense of calm and control. Whenever your emotions are spiraling out of control, take a deep breath in and out. This simple exercise may be all you need to control your emotions and change your state of mind. Do you find it difficult sometimes to control your emotions? Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with others. Thanks for watching. Have an absolutely amazing day.
You need to understand that your entire external world is nothing more than a reflection of your internal state of consciousness. And this is where the idea of embodying your assumption takes root. For it is not enough to simply think of a desire occasionally or whisper hopeful affirmations. But you must live from the state of the wish fulfilled and let that reality become more real to you than the one you perceive with your senses. When you assume a new identity internally, you are stepping into a new version of yourself. And it is from that place of inner embodiment that the outer world reorganizes itself to mirror that new conception you hold of yourself, which means you must become the person who already has, already is, already lives the outcome you seek. You must walk, think, feel, respond, and carry yourself as the version of you who no longer seeks the desire but enjoys it as a part of your natural state. And in doing so, you dissolve the gap between wanting and having because you eliminate the need to chase what you have already become. When you detach from the physical evidence and shift your focus inward, you begin to experience a powerful shift in your consciousness, one where you no longer seek validation from what is, but instead command creation by aligning your inner world with your deepest desires. And this alignment is not a fleeting moment of visualization or a shallow repetition of words, but a deep, consistent embodiment of your assumed identity, which means that your mood, your reactions, and your expectations all reflect this new internal stance. You must become so rooted in your inner conviction that no outer appearance has the power to sway your belief or cause you to doubt the reality you have claimed within. And this requires a level of discipline and devotion to the unseen that is often misunderstood by those who look only to the senses for proof. You must move through your day with the certainty that what you have claimed internally is already yours. And even if the outer world remains unchanged for a time, you persist in the assumption until it hardens into fact. When you embody your assumption, you no longer try to make something happen, for the very effort implies lack and separation. And instead, you dwell in the end result, resting in the knowing that the world must conform to the state you occupy. And this rest is not laziness or inaction, but a deep trust in the process of creation, one where your inner state is the cause and the outer reflection is the effect. You no longer worry about timing, for time bends to the state you inhabit. And so you let go of the need to force or rush, understanding that urgency is born from doubt, and doubt is a signal that you have not yet fully assumed the state you desire to embody. You learn to relax into your new identity, choosing thoughts and feelings that align with your desired outcome. And in doing so, you shift your energetic signature, which magnetically draws to you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that resonate with your new state. You become the embodiment of your desire not by outer doing, but by inner being. And this inner being becomes your new normal, your new base reality. And though the senses may continue to echo the old state for a time, you remain unmoved because you know that persistence in your assumption is what guarantees its external manifestation, and not the evidence or lack thereof around you. You detach not in the sense of indifference, but in the sense of no longer needing the outer world to prove your new identity to you, for you have already accepted it as true within. And this inner acceptance is what initiates the chain of events that culminate in physical manifestation. You speak to yourself from this new identity, you observe the world from this new perspective, and you respond to life as the version of you who already has what you once longed for. When you live from the end, you naturally align with the energy of your fulfilled desire, and everything in your world begins to reorient itself around that central state. Just as a magnet organizes metal filings into a new pattern, and though others may not understand how effortlessly your reality seems to shift, you know that it is not magic or chance, but the precise and unfailing law that whatever you accept as true of yourself becomes your experience. You do not merely pretend or hope, but you genuinely become inwardly and completely, and this becoming is not always loud or dramatic, but often silent and subtle. A quiet certainty that grows stronger with each moment you spend dwelling in the desired state. You no longer talk about your desire as something you want, but speak from it as though it is already woven into the fabric of your daily experience. And this shift in language reflects a deeper shift in identity. You stop seeking signs and stop watching for results because you know the only sign you need is your own inner conviction. And as you persist in this embodiment, the outer world must eventually catch up, for it is law, not luck, that governs creation. You move through the world with the quiet confidence of one who knows their power, who understands that the invisible assumption is more powerful than any visible fact. and you find joy not in waiting for your desire, but in living it now in consciousness. You begin to see that circumstances are merely reflections, not causes, and that your true work is always internal, always focused on maintaining your identity in the desired state, no matter what appears to be happening outside. This inner steadiness becomes your foundation, your strength, and from it springs a life that mirrors your deepest assumptions about who you are and what is possible for you. Each moment becomes an opportunity to recommit to your new identity, and when doubts arise, as they naturally will, you do not fight them or push them away, but acknowledge them, and then return to your chosen state. Knowing that the repetition of this process is what builds the momentum of manifestation, you realize that the world responds not to your words or even your actions, but to your state, to the vibration you carry, and that this state is entirely within your control. You do not need to manipulate people or force outcomes, for the assumption does all the work, reorganizing reality in ways you could never have planned with the logical mind. And so you let go of the how and stay loyal to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You make decisions as the version of you who already has what they desire, and in doing so, you signal to the subconscious mind that this new identity is your truth. Your inner conversations shift from lack to fulfillment, and you begin to notice how your imagination becomes your truest reality. For what you hold within begins to override what you see without. And this is not delusion, but creation, for all things are created twice, first in imagination, then in form. You learn to value the unseen more than the seen, to cherish the feeling of already having, rather than the frustration of waiting to receive. And this shift in values aligns you with the flow of manifestation, which always begins within. You no longer react to appearances with fear or frustration, because you know that appearances are temporary echoes of past assumptions, and you have chosen a new reality from within. You rise above circumstance, not through effort or denial, but through the clarity of knowing that you are the operant power, and your world must reflect the state you dwell in consistently. You do not try to be positive all the time, for you understand that true embodiment goes deeper than surface emotions. It is a stable identity shift, not a fleeting feeling, and so you learn to rest in the assumption even when emotions waver, knowing that the subconscious responds to repeated impressions, not to momentary moods. You allow yourself to feel the depth of your new reality without needing to prove it to others. And in this quiet certainty, you find a power that transcends appearances, a creative force that shapes reality according to the state you assume to be real. You see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to affirm your new state. And each time you persist despite appearances, you strengthen your belief and bring your desire closer to tangible form. You embody your assumption not through rigid control, but through relaxed dominion, allowing your imagination to paint the picture of your ideal reality, and then stepping into that picture with your inner being until it feels as natural as breathing. You use the world around you not as a gauge of success, but as a canvas upon which your inner state is projected, and each experience becomes feedback, showing you where your assumptions lie. You do not blame the outer for what you experience, but take responsibility for your inner stance, knowing that the outer must conform in time. You become a deliberate chooser of states, and each state you inhabit becomes the seed of a new reality. Even when nothing seems to change, you persist because you understand that manifestation is a process of unfolding, and that your continued embodiment of the end state is the guarantee of its arrival. You move from wishing to knowing, from hoping to claiming, and in this claiming, you set in motion the unseen forces that bring your desire to life. You realize that faith is not blind belief, but a deep inner conviction in the reality of the unseen. And this conviction grows with every moment you choose to live from your desired end. You do not need to convince others because your world is a mirror of your own belief, not theirs. And so you focus only on your internal alignment, which is the only true work that matters. Your feelings become your guide, not because they create, but because they reveal your state. And when you feel yourself slipping into doubt or fear, you gently return to your assumed identity, not with force, but with love, knowing that consistency in the state is more important than perfection. You begin to enjoy the feeling of already having, and this enjoyment becomes a magnet for more of what you desire, for like attracts like, and the feeling of fulfillment draws more fulfillment. You stop chasing desires and start embodying them, and this shift turns you from a seeker into a creator, from a reactor into a chooser, and your life transforms accordingly. As you continue to dwell in the state of your fulfilled desire, the world around you becomes malleable, shifting and reshaping itself to reflect the inner reality you have chosen. And though others may marvel at your apparent luck, you know it is not luck at all, but the result of living in the end. You understand that your assumption does not create instantly, but inevitably. And so you release impatience, trusting the timing of manifestation because you trust the law. You become the version of yourself who already has it. And in becoming, you receive, not through force or struggle, but through alignment. And each time your new reality unfolds, you strengthen your understanding that embodiment is the key, and assumption is the doorway through which all desires become reality.